Today I'm joined by Hyder Amil, a rising featherweight in the UFC, known as the Hurricane. Hyder's built an impressive record of 11 wins and just one loss, and he's quickly making a name for himself with his relentless pace and exciting style. From grinding his way through the regional circuits to stepping onto the UFC stage. His story is one of hard work, belief, and big ambitions. Hyder, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Thanks for being here, man. All right, we're gonna just jump straight into this.
Let's do it.
And what I'm really interested in is the concept of, like, in the corporate world, we compare ourselves to athletes,
Right?
And we do that because, well, I think we do that because of the commitment it takes to be an athlete, the mindset, the work ethic, etc. But to have a professional athlete and to actually really tap into that and make that comparison now is going to be amazing. So I want to start with this. So you earned your UFC contract on Dana White's Contender Series.
Yes.
What was that night like with Dana sitting cage side watching you fight for your future? And did you get a chance to speak to him afterwards?
That was a dream come true. I had a very hard fight in the Contender Series. I fought a guy who was in the Greco World Team. He was this Turkish guy. He was a relentless wrestler. And he was... So in the Dana White's Contender Series, even if you win the fight, he may not accept you. It has to be entertaining. You have to kind of be a kind of a package for him to... Or potential prospect, right? So when we fought, I clipped him in the beginning and he dropped, so he just kept going for takedowns. He went for about 23 takedowns and I stopped about 18 or 19 of them, setting the takedown record for the show, which is like 19 takedowns, which is exhausting. I also did that fight with food poisoning because I don't know why I ate sushi in Vegas the night before, because I usually do, and I could only eat a waffle on fight day, so it was a relentless fight. It was such a grapple fest. It was such a high-paced grapple fest. And usually he was known as the wrestler and grappler. I pretty much out-grappled the grappler. And Dana White. And I was nervous that Dana White wouldn't accept me because it was like a wrestling match. But Dana White's like, I have goosebumps. And like that was crazy. That was like the amount of heart and dog this guy has and stuff like that. And it seemed like he got the best reaction. And after the show, he spoke to me, I felt like the longest, because he dismissed everyone, but he talked to me for a very long time, and I have a pretty good relationship with him, so that's pretty awesome.
And that was a dream come true?
That was. And he was everything I thought he would be. Uncle Dana, he's exactly what he's like. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So what did it take to get to that actual spot? So mentally, physically, to get yourself ready for that opportunity and to finally break into the UFC?
So first you have to start in the regional circuits. First you start around the city or state area. And then there are a few shows that are feeder shows to UFC. I fought in one called LFA, which 40% of UFC's roster comes from LFA. So a lot of prospects across the world fight on that show. Another one's like Cage Warriors in Europe and some other countries. But the main one here in the US, but also goes around the world, is called LFA. Honestly, during COVID, I was like, I'm a little older for MMA. I was like 30 years old. I was going to fight in another show called Bellator, which is UFC's rival. And I had a multi-fight deal. Things were going good. Then COVID happened. And then my whole world just ended. And I was, and I got injured. So I thought I was done fighting. 2021, I was like, they offered me a fight in LFA, took a short notice fight. The kid I accepted a fight with this kid do you know who Alex Pereira is?
Yeah,
Poetan. He's a training partner of him. This kid was 25-0 in Muay Thai and then 3-time world champion Jiu-Jitsu at like 21 years old, and he was really big. So I just said yes. I got a list of names, and that was the last one. I was like, just on size and credentials, that would be like the hardest fight. Sure enough, I fought him because they said, hey, we can have notice, take the fight. So I took the fight. Knocked him out, like destroyed the kid, and then 2 more fights after that. So I got 3 fights within 7-8 months and got me into the show, the Contender show, because it was the next prospects. The last fight, I represent the Bay Area, Northern California. The other prospect represented LA, so it was who was king of California, who's going to make it to the Contender. And so me and him were like these surging prospects. And if you see how big and scary this guy is, I'm going to be honest, even my girlfriend was begging me not to fight him. She was like, my ex-girlfriend at the time was like, please don't fight him, because we saw a video where he picks a man up from the ground over his head and slams him. And if you have kids, it's already hard to do that with your kid, you know? So when he did that, we were like, wow. Like, but you know what? You got to step up to the plate. Harder it is, bigger the opposition, the more you step up. I think that's what separates good from great. Those who are willing to do that, who step up to the plate and look forward to the challenge. Some people, they fear it. They got a little something in here. For me, I'm always better with a harder guy. I almost welcome it. And I get so used to it. I think for my life, when the coaches or gym, who wants to volunteer, I'm always volunteering. I even tell the coach, just always have me go first, because I always want to lead first, you know? Because it's just, once you get so used to putting yourself out there, like I tell people, put money on me, put pressure on me, and people are messaging me, I put my whole rent on you, stuff like that. I'm like, good, because it doesn't matter. If you're as great as you think you are, it doesn't matter how much other pressure is on you.
Have you always stepped up naturally, or did you have to train yourself or teach yourself to do that?
Everything that I'm known for was my weakness before. I used to get so nervous, I get sick, you know, in wrestling tournaments growing up. And I think after going through life struggles and really living life and understanding that, and also just going through being very well prepared. What changed my life during COVID, I was like, you know what? It's easy to be positive when things are going good, but it means more and more deserving of life's riches if you can be positive when things are going bad. And so what I did was I started training my business partner. We all have a gym now. We started 2 years ago, but it all started during COVID. And I started mapping out my life. I took away all the toxic people. I stopped toxifying my body. I got a therapist. I found peace. I just started developing regimen and planning my life, listening to podcasts, all these podcasts, Tony Robbins, learning from different people. Next thing I know, I get those fights, you know, and I'm in the contender, and it was just about. I told myself, not only am I going to do that, I'm going to give 100% to each person, and the people I have less patience for, I'm going to give twice as much patience. And that changed my whole world.
So you essentially reinvented yourself.
I did.
Is that fair to say?
I did.
And you took all these positive steps forward.
Yes.
Eliminating people, getting healthier, whatever it is, surrounding yourself, or podcasts, etc. So education. How important has preparation been? Because you touched on preparation.
Like I tell all my students and all the other fighters, the only thing you can control is your preparation. So what does that mean? So I tell everyone, look, the more structuredness you have, the better it is. I tell all my students, look, this is what you're going to do. I call them life goals 1 to 3, long-term goals 1 to 3. And life goals is within the next 10, 20 years, depending on your age. And then long-term goals is within the next 10 years. Medium-term goals, 3 to 5 years, and so on to daily goals, right? They're going to go at least 1 to 3, and then put all the steps in between to get that, you know?
And you have that plan in place for yourself?
Myself and everyone else. I have something I do in ritually where I remind myself of my plan almost every day. And then I tell them that, and because I also have a boxing team, Muay Thai team, an MMA team. I have coaches. I'm also a team captain of the team in the Bay Area. Everyone knows me for that, and also a community leader there. So yeah, so I feel like my structuredness and preparedness, I want to pass that on to them. Not only because like most of them are not going to make it as a fighter, but guess what? After putting themselves in the fire and learning how to be prepared physically and mentally each day, preparedness, making himself like progressing every day becomes a spiritual journey. Then by throwing themselves in the fire, they fight their demons. They welcome the challenges. And I told them, look, fighting is a lot of pressure. When you go into a business interaction and things like that, guess what? It's going to be a whole lot less pressure. People are going to feel your confidence. If you can translate that same confidence and structuredness to that whatever industry you do next.
So do you consider yourself, or do you feel a lot more confident as a man, as a human being, because of the fighting?
Yes, but I feel like the fighting, it's not my power over people. It's my ability to control myself under high pressure and learning in the everyday grind to get what I need to do. because my nutrition, my health, my mental. I have a health coach, mental, martial arts coach, and actually my newest. Oh, sorry. Let me finish all my coaches first. I have a Muay Thai coach, boxing coach, MMA coach. My head coach, Gilbert Melendez, just like Gilbert, Nate Diaz, Jake Shields, Nick Diaz. So I'm from their team. They're my coaches. So I listen to them like I tell people, yes, I'm a fighter. I'm more like a soldier. I have a regiment. I listen to orders. Boom, 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 boom. They're all carried out. The one thing that makes a successful fighter is a successful businessman is self-discipline. One thing that everyone knows me is they go to the gym. Who's going to be at the gym? Me, every day. And sometimes I have no training partners. There's even a video out. They said Hyder's probably training harder by himself than he is with anyone with other partners. So that's what it takes, whether it's fighting or in business, because there is no 40 hours. It's an everyday 24/7, 356. The times you don't is the times you have for your family and life. And that's one thing after this might stem off to that, but that's one thing from this fight that I forgot, that before I'm a fighter, I'm a man and a martial artist first.
Can you tell me about your training? Like, can you just give me a sense of what that involves?
Okay.
And like how many hours a day do you train for? And yeah, just shed some light, because we have no idea.
I shape my training measurement around like what Michael Phelps does. It's like 10 hard workouts a week. I normally do 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. Sometimes I'll do 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night. Just depends. And it's a lot of food. Like last night I ordered 2 entrees, 3 bugs of water, a drink. Like I'll even eat 3 entrees. Sometimes I'll eat, go to sleep, and eat again. That's how much calories I will have to ingest in a day. But also everyone's different. So one diet is not going to work for everyone. Like I burn through calories like crazy. The nutrition, some nutritionists, what they have planned for me does not work for me. I just get sick because I burn so much calories. Because I don't think they're used to having a person that can work as hard as I can. My output is ridiculous. And I don't know too many people who, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're doing MMA. And my team, there's guys in the NFL. There's serious athletes, D1 athletes, like guys who are just freaks who've been fighting, martial artists, all kinds of guys from different places. So it's a doghouse. And I'm team captain. So guess what? Communication. What's the biggest part of communication? 50% is body language, 30% is tone, 7% is what you actually say. So I got to show by body language, by working harder than everyone, sparring with, I don't care who you are, and speaking like I am the leader and telling everyone the right way, because I know the right way. I have the vision. I have all the hundreds of thousands of people in the Bay Area. I'm the only one who's made it. So that's why, and I have to prove it every time. So
tell me about, actually, before I ask you this, how many calories do you eat a day? Do you know?
I don't know. I've been so used to like knowing what I eat, kind of like just ballparking it. So in the morning, I usually eat like, because I have to eat like carbs right away, carbs and protein right away. So I'll eat like bananas. I even do a pace shake. I just need something quick, and then like pound a protein shake, and then go do my workout. Then eat my morning breakfast or whatever. I try to get 50 grams of protein per meal, and I add a protein shake, and then an hour later, like I'll order a sandwich, eat half the sandwich, and then another one later, and then drink a protein shake, do my next workout, eat my dinner there. But I usually eat 2 or 3 dinners.
Wow. Okay. What I wanted to ask you is just your work ethic. So before we started recording, you said that like what insights you can offer people, which is that you're the first in the gym, or like equally someone that gets to the gym and does 15 minutes at the beginning, or like 15 minutes more at the beginning.
Right.
Can you explain that concept?
So a lot of people who they think about being a fighter just like they think about being a man or being a soldier. They think about the bravado of it, like beating people up, this and that. They don't actually know what kind of level of discipline it takes. By the time we know what being a fighter is, having no life, being sober, being a martial artist, doing the inner work as much doing the outer work. And that doesn't just mean the physical preparation and learning techniques. A lot of fighters are not good with film study. They're not good with their regimen. They don't know how to diet. They don't know how to put a structure in their life. Almost no one knows how to do it. I'm like really surprised. I feel like a lot of fighters don't do that. And I feel like I'm the only one who really has and stuck to my plan and made the necessary sacrifices, honestly, because I was coordinating a construction company and they wouldn't give me a raise because I didn't have a degree. So I was like 23, 24 at the time, and I had employees. I created a whole company. I'm like, dude, like this is a diesel construction company. Who are you gonna have maintain all this? Hire the guys, do all this, create the contracts, and dude, when you're on construction, man, you're construction people, especially in the U.S. where I'm from. You're around real men. You gotta be up there, get ready to talk, and get know how to go with the blue collar guys and white collar guys. So when I was doing that, I met a construction manager, and he said, you should be a construction manager. You have the right persona to do that. So I was like, I quit the job, went back to school. It was a little bit later in my life. I was like, I know what I want to do. And I told myself, fighting is going to give me a new lease in life, whether that's in fighting or in construction or doing something as a construction manager or something down that site. Because this program actually gives people like a 6-figure job at least coming out of college, So, that's what I was planning on doing and stuff like that. I honestly never thought I would go that far in MMA or college. When I was 4-0, I said if I ever go 10-0, I'm gonna get a tattoo on my face or something. Because that's how much I didn't think. I went to 11-0, all hard fights, and I never thought I'd even do college. And I did college at the same time. I actually did college in secret, so I'd use my fight money and I wouldn't tell anyone I did college. I'd just make up an excuse. I just tell everyone I did. Then last year I told everyone I graduated college, and everyone's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yep, I just did it in secret. So the UFC really likes that.
That's incredible. If someone was watching you fight for the first time, what should they expect to see?
Oh, I mean, if they've seen all my other fights, they just get ready to jump out of their seats. It's gonna be, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something. I'll knock you out, have a war. I have no idea what's going to happen. I just know I'm going to win, and I bring fireworks. So
I love your mindset. Like, there is no question. There is no self-doubt there. Like, you know what you want, right? And it's your commitment, your discipline, your mindset. Like, it's all... when I relate it back to the corporate world, I can see how some of the things translate. Obviously, there isn't the physicality in what we do, but
the mental is more 80-90% of it.
Yeah,
that's why like a lot of people who, there's a lot of people who can show you the technique and stuff like that, but one thing I'm really good at is the preparedness, mentally, physically, because you have to have the right feeling into a fight. What is feeling? What two concepts is feeling is mental and physical. If I have you very well prepared mentally, doing your notes, doing your structuredness, all that. No, you have to structure mentally. Physically, you're already in shape. That cultivates into the feeling of I'm ready for this fight and confidence. I also have a few little hacks for the mind and body to give you a little bit more out of you.
Amazing. Yeah, to my real estate audience, just to bring it back to real estate for a second, you can see how this would translate back into what we do, that preparing, training, commitment. Yeah, there's so many layers to that. So the featherweight division is stacked, right? And if there's names like Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, and of course, Alexander Volkanovski. What's it like competing in a division with that level of talent?
Oh, I can't wait. That's exciting. For me, fighting and because of my life, that's the thing that's kind of like, that's easy for me. I don't get that nervous. I like it. I enjoy it. Like my fight before last, I fought a guy who is tall. I hadn't lost in 8 years, kickboxer. He had a really good showing last week, or a couple of weeks ago at UFC Paris. And I fought him with like a torn bicep, torn knee. My dad died 2 weeks before that. My best friend, my dog, died like 2 months before that. So I was going through it. And I still beat him, and I feel like the reason is I just have just a rock upstairs, rock in the body, rock in the mind, and I think that's in life. Fighting is like life. being determination and preparation will bring you further than talent.
If you got a phone call, I don't know what the answer to this is, but if someone called you today and said, "Do you want Volk wants the fight in the UFC?" Would you take the fight?
Let's do this. Here's the funny thing. You know what me and Volk have in common? Me and him are the only featherweights with double XL gloves, because we both used to be heavyweights. So I think we would have a good Raka Saka match. So it'd be fun.
Amazing. Well, I mean, we met recently, and I instantly enjoyed your company and your energy and the conversation. I actually met Volk probably 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
But just in passing, I actually went to watch some MMA in Sydney out west.
Okay.
And a friend of mine, I just got into jiu-jitsu at the time, and a friend of mine said, "See that guy there? He's going to be the world champ." And I sort of looked at him, I was like, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "You should have a photo with him." So I did have a photo with Volk.
Nice.
And every time he wins a fight, I stopped doing it last. I put the photo of me and him up, but it's like years ago.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is that he was such a nice guy.
Oh, he's great.
He was so friendly.
He wasn't that great when he met me, but yeah, he's good. I think he knew I was in his division or something. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you about something that may be difficult to talk about. So you were sitting on an impressive 11 win streak. Is that correct?
Yeah, 11 pro fights in a row.
Correct. But you experienced your first loss in June. But when we did meet, I felt like that was part of the conversation that we had. And I felt like I don't know what it represented to you, but certainly it was driving you. And I felt like it almost probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm always giving you a different sense of purpose in life. Because you didn't tell me about the 11 fights. You more so focused on the fact that you lost the last one and that you were ready to get back in. I was like, I feel sorry for the next guy that you're fighting, because that's the sort of energy that I was getting from you. But that obviously weighs on you heavily. So why, in your words, why do you think that is?
Because I've never lost. I've lost one amateur fight that I actually won. I was really, really ill. And in the scorecards, I've never even lost a street fight. I've been in hundreds, maybe 50 or 100 street fights. I don't think I could lose. And so that was big. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. I would fight 3 people, 10 people, Samoan guy, black guy, white guy, brown guy, every race, every weight. I can knock people the hell out, And I've just always been a great fighter. I could always believe that I could beat anyone. And when that happened to me, it was a big boom, wake up call. I am against the best fighters in the world. They are the kings of kings, best of best, warriors of warriors, So, however, leading up to this fight, the 8 months before the fight, I lost my best friend. Then 2 months later, I lose my dog of 14 years. I lost my dad, and then a week after my fight, I lost my grandpa. I got a bad car crash 3 weeks before my fight. And I think it made me chinny. It just overloaded my central nervous system. So when in the fight, I took him down. He went to take down. I threw him on his back. When my adrenaline hit, it overloaded my nervous system. And if you see in the fight, I throw a wild right hand. And in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck, what the heck? And if you're saying that in a fight, it's bad, right? I've never said that once in a fight. And it was a surreal feeling. And then, he clipped me with a knee and then dropped some elbows. And I got up, I'm like, and then it was a flash knockdown. And I went with the matchmaker. I threw out my credit card number. I know all my credit card, debit card numbers from the top of my head. So I just spat it back to him because they're saying, doctor. I told him, no. I'm perfectly fine, and give him all the reasons for that to show that I was cognitively still there. And Sean Shelby gave me, the matchmaker gave me a shorter suspension. Well, the doctor did anyway. But just in case, I got a CAT scan. I did all the necessary procedures to make sure I was okay. But I never gave myself the time because I have a gym, I have students, I have a very strong commitment to duty. And so I never gave myself the time until I stepped out here.
Do you feel like I personally understand the concept of when you have a strong belief.
Yeah.
and then the opposite happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know that I've had a belief like that, and I was probably stuck in that belief for a year or two because it was so difficult to move on.
Mm-hmm.
But that belief for you happened in June, and you're already ready to deal with it. It feels like that level of resilience is unbelievable. But I guess what I'm interested in is like, so what did that fight teach you about yourself, both as a fighter and as a person?
Well, like I said, something divine happened to me that day. That there's a gift. It was a gift to him, more of a gift to myself. That was honestly the best thing that ever happened to me, because if you knew my life, I grew up with so much abuse, and I grew up in a third world country in the middle of the Philippines where I'm the only mixed kid, so everyone bullied me and wanted to fight me, and I had the last house in a slum. So where I grew up was crazy, and I've always been ostracized. I was always in different neighborhoods, even in the Bay Area, all black, all white, all brown. If you know anything about some American neighborhoods, it's pretty crazy. And the stuff I've had to deal with and do is wild, because my sisters and my mom, I never wanted to fight. I'm an artist. I was like a gifted honors student kid, and had did science fair and all that. I made a hovercraft when I was 8 years old, so but I saw my sister and mom going through it, my mom's boyfriend, my sisters, and people trying to, like, harass them and stuff like that. And I have a few very personal stories I can share another time, but it was, as a kid, 10-year-old kid, let's put it this way, these stories made me realize there's only one person who's going to take care of my sister and my mom. That's going to be me. So I started training. I just started getting stronger, and that's the reason I don't have fear, because I fear for my sister and mom. I'm not scared of anything. I really am not. People try to scare me all the time. I got none of that, not even a little bit. And so when and I've been through so much stuff, and if you even knew, like, how can I? So, but I had so much trauma from all my PTSD. It caused me to go through, like, fight demons kind of internally. And also all the technology, all the noise in the head. This is what all the kids, I feel like older people, there's in society, there's not a way for them to deal with their problems and issues just in society, like therapy and all that. So I feel like a lot of older people have, especially prior to technology, have a lot of their trauma and their physiology. I feel like a lot of young people, because they're born with iPad technology, and they got noise in their head. And this is what I mean. If your phone was your head and your first app is your brain, there's 1,000 apps open in all these kids, and that's why they're malfunctioning. They got ADD and all that. So what happened to me, boom, one app. I haven't watched TV since that day. I've only film study. Ever since that day, I mostly listen to classical music, because all that noise left, and I could feel the impact it has on me. When you become this aware, I started doing diagrams. I started looking at diagrams, so I could feel where in my brain a memory from a dream and a memory from reality is from. I started looking at diagrams. I could feel these things in my body. I'm like, oh, all that noise, that's why people are so unaware of what's physically happening to them, And because of that, I feel so much better to my day-to-day. Because of that day, I haven't had a day. I'm upset about my loss. Don't get me wrong. That's what makes me mad. But I don't go. I haven't gone through it at all since that. I haven't had a day of anxiety or depression since that day.
Is it like borderline a spiritual awakening?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Could you describe it that way?
It was. I was mad because, I'll be honest, my mom didn't call me after my fight. And when the person that should love you the most doesn't call you, the whole world loves you, you don't feel it, because people were, I was getting death threats and all that. And that's just the name of the game with betting. So it wasn't that big a deal. And and a lot of my friends and family try to be there for me, but I just was not hearing them, And it took a little dip, but then I was like, I climbed out of it. It wasn't that long. I still took care of what I needed to do. But for someone like me, I did get kind of like fell into like a little bit of a rut mentally, and was upset, but I was angry, but I wasn't depressed. Every day I was actually kind of happy, because all that left me. If that's weird, I'm just mad about the fight, how it all occurred. I'm mad that people think like doubt me and what I can do. You know, I want to show them because of what happened. However, like I said, I'm a man of martial arts first before I am a fighter. It allowed me to work on my inner work, look at the programming. It also taught me who's really there for me. So when I become champ, I know who I'm going to take care of. And because of that, I have you heard of Wim Hof?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I got myself a Wim Hof. I met a Wim Hof instructor, and before all this, and then he messaged me like a month ago, like, hey, would you? I don't know why, but I feel like I need to help work with you. And then so he started working with me, and then I do every morning. I go out to Bondi Beach, do the grounding, eyes in the sun. I do my Wim Hof breathing to expand, and makes me present. And when you're present, you're not living in the future, so you have no anxiety. You're not living in the past, so you have no depression. You're truly present, living life. So now I've been enjoying every second of every day.
That's amazing. If someone outside of the fight world was going through a tough time now, if one of your friends was, or if I was, what advice would you give to me or to your friend?
There is like the hangry checklist, like hungry, have you eaten, have you slept, have you this and that, right? So I'd say address that first. Address your sleep, address your nutrition, address your exercise, all right? And if you're still bothered, right, or maybe you're low in energy, there's a few ways to go about that. One thing I do like about this Wim Hof coach is he teaches you breathing techniques to kind of clear your mind and body when you feel anxiety. For example, when when you cry, you're like, right? One way, Huberman does this as well to do it, is you take 2 deep inhales and exhale. And automatically you put some parasympathetic in your brain. The reason why people have anxiety is their amygdala is going off, their fight and flight response, and people are working. This is why people are ill, is because they're so switched on mentally because of maybe their manager in life, their manager, whoever's above them, and their spouse. And they say, and a lot of people have cancer, you know what they have? They have one of those 2 things, if not both of those things. And that's why, because it's the everyday kind of impact it has on you.
So you think in life, at the very minimum, you should get the basics right, which would be exercise, nutrition, maybe sun, sleep, into nature.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
That's a good place to start for people. And yeah, perhaps if someone is experiencing or feeling down,
right,
there could be like a bit of a basic checklist in that regard. Well, out of interest, why didn't your mom call you after the fight?
My mom's always been hard. Yeah, she doesn't, like I said, she doesn't know how to deal with her feelings. So I called her, and I'm like, and she's, her way of trying to show love is trying to tell you what to do and stuff like that. And like, that's just her way. It's always been like that. Like, everyone makes fun of me because I don't call my mom. I call her Susan. I'm like, Susan, they're like, why do you call her that? Because my mom doesn't answer to mom. She's always been a hard ass ever since I was a kid. That's the reason why I was so upset when my dog died, because when my dog, I had it when I was young, but I couldn't take care of my dog, so it ended up being my mom's little helper. And because my mom showed love to his dog like, every day, all the time, my mom became a sweet person. But growing up, my mom was never that sweet, and she's still pretty hard. Now she just doesn't know how to express herself. And I told her, like, look, I need you to be my mom and just show me you love me. Stop telling me what to do. I've never listened, so stop telling me what to do. And then and I'm like, I know you love me. It's like, she loves me to death. She'll do anything for me, She's just hard for her to. I've gotten like 3 I'm proud of yous from my mom ever, like. And usually, like, let's put it this way, all my friends' dads always tell them, like, why can't you be like Haider? Like, they've always said that to me. And I feel like to a lot of people's dads, they'd probably like me as a son or people. But my mom's always been hard like that.
She's tough.
Yeah.
If she called you after the fight, if she did, what would you have liked her to say? What could have made it better for you?
Just, what? Do what feels good, that what a woman would do. Is just like a feminine, like the feminine energy, a motherly energy, like just say, are you okay? I love you. Just reassurance, okay? Because that's what you need, especially. But actually, you just reminded me, I was never too compassionate even with I could like be compassionate when someone lost, but I never felt it, and I never realized it. And even with some of my students and people, when they lose, because I've never lost. Well, it's been so long, over 10 years, I don't know what the feeling was like. So after this loss, when some of my team has lost, or my students, I show them love, and know how to. And because of this, I've learned how to just speak and connect with my students and coaches better. So that's another really good thing that came out.
It's actually made you a better leader because you can emphasize you didn't know what it was to lose.
Right.
And now you know what it's like to lose, so you can support people when they're in that.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a beautiful gift.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good to learn that and do that self-work. And also, because I don't have all that ADD, ever since I've been here, I've been reading a book every morning. So I haven't read a book in like 10 years. So I've been reading all these self-help books, and it's really helped with just the mental structure and just planning. I've been planning, and so when I come back to the States, I'm going to be a better person, a clear vision leader, and a better fighter, but overall just a better man.
So the loss has made you a better person, right?
I believe so.
Absolutely, sounds like it. I want to ask you this. So if you rewind to when you first started the journey, what's one thing about yourself you know now that you absolutely didn't see coming? And looking ahead, when you hang up the gloves, what do you want people to remember you for, not just as a fighter, but as a human being?
When I started, I just was like, let's just give this a shot. I can't get a job or whatever because I was getting in trouble. So I was like, let's go pro in MMA and let's see what happens. And that thing happens. And what's funny is the Muay Thai coach back then, he's 4-time world champion. After I won that fight, he called my sister and said, or had my sister pick him up and drive him to the airport and said, your brother is going to be the only fighter of everyone's going to make it and make money from fighting. 8 years later, he was right, which was crazy. So I think people saw that, but everyone thought I just wasn't disciplined enough to get it together. I've always been always been really good at fighting. Like, everyone knew I was going to be something in fighting. Like, everyone knew, I was just a sick fighter, sick wrestler, and just because of my life, I've just out-savaged people, I tell people, look, I'm a brown belt in every discipline. Maybe striking, I'm a black belt, but I'm a 50-degree black belt in savagery and mental toughness and mental resiliency and strategy. Because I can fight lefty, I can fight righty, I can wrestle you, jiu-jitsu. I don't know too many people are that versatile, athletic, but also I can keep up a pace that no one can keep up.
I watched the video I think you put on your Insta this morning. You're walking backwards, like shadow boxing on a treadmill.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, how are you not falling off?
I do that, and I catch a tennis ball. I throw tennis balls and catch it. It's all about just mental and physical training. That's what a lot of people don't do. And so you got to think yourself, you're a machine, right? You got your hardware, you got your software. You got to update your software also, but you also have to connect your mind and body to be one. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. And that's why people are messed up nowadays. They're so in their head, they just get caught up in their head. They get anxiety, they get lost in their head, they overthink things, right? And there's some people who are just that when they fight, they're still scatterbrained. But it's all about how you can be one. That's the ultimate, right? How you enter flow state, ultimate flow state, what I call God mode, is what you need. I think I accessed that a little bit more, a lot of it more after this fight, because it's all about having clarity in fighting and in life. Clarity, clear lenses. The moment you feel any kind of emotion, feeling good, bad, sad, whatever, your lens is fogged just a little bit more. What you see, what you perceive, and how you move is then affected. When you, for example, how I perceive you, whether you like it or not, or them perceive me, a lot of your values and stuff have played a part with that, right? So sometimes, as much as you think you see it correctly, purely, you kind of don't, especially if you feel any emotion. That's why when people are arguing, it never goes well, because that's why I say I don't hear people's words anymore. I just, my ex-girlfriend's like, I love you, and you do. I'm like, your tone sounds like you want to win. Your tone sounds angry. How about you speak to me with a tone that tells me you love me, And so I just started doing that with my students. I said, I would like Mark to listen. I would love to Mark to listen. And once I started doing that, people actually listened to every word I said. Prior to my loss, no matter what I said, everyone got tough because my tone was, you need to do this. And it was just tough. So no matter what I said, the feeling they got, and that's why I say you always remember people's feeling, is because your tone is a portal to your energy. So no matter what you say, it doesn't fucking matter. So I told all my kids, don't tell your lady you love her. Go up to her, put some flowers, look her dead in the eye, boom, put it right there. Tell me that's not going to be then saying I love you. But I'm pretty sure she's going to be kind of, feeling you big time after that. So
that makes sense. And so that makes sense. And also the big piece there sounds like emotional regulation.
Yes.
Is that fair to say? Because a lot of people find it very difficult. I do, to manage my emotions. You get angry, or I don't know, like a silly example, you get cut off, you can feel yourself, like in traffic, you feel yourself. But that emotional regulation to stay stable, centered, I don't know, what's the word? Just to be focused in moments of, that could be challenging. It's a skill set in itself, right?
Right.
Fighting is often described as lonely. That's what I've heard. How important has family or community been in helping you keep perspective?
It is absolutely imperative to your performance in winning. Because your performance winning is about your execution. You can have all that, but one thing I could tell people, tell my students and people who compete is you want to, by reminding yourself what you're grateful for, empowers you. And now if you have a strong community behind you who can, because financially, who can support you, who can pick you up, there's a lot of other constituents that go into it besides that. But what helps your day-to-day, you get beat in practice, boom, you're getting tired, because, with the UFC guy, I'm the UFC guy, I go to the gym, everyone's gunning for me, so every day I got to prove it to get this guy, jiu-jitsu guy, wrestler guy, whatever, and they want to make a name off me or something like that. So you have to always just be immensely prepared. With that being said, you're not winning all those rounds. Some days your ego gets in the better of you, and at the end of the day, one thing I really like about my ex-girlfriend, that you just spoke over there, she's every morning, you know what it sounds like? I'm like, hello, say, good morning, blah, blah, blah. This is the most positive. It's the best thing to wake up every morning to get that, I get that. Everyone's a lot of people are like, I wish I got that in the morning. And I just want to say that because I just started just giving people that energy. And when you just do that for someone's soul, it just does something for their soul, Just that little thing. And that's why I was just with her for a while, because it was just, one, she has a better six-pack than me. And two, she's just so perpetually positive.
So when I love that positivity. So when you talk about community, do you feel like when you're what does it feel like when you actually get in the ring, or what does it feel like when you're in the ring and you've won? Do you want to celebrate your community? Who's the first person that you want to thank when you win?
So I'm the first UFC fighter was born in the Philippines, or really representing me and Josh, and then but right now I'm the only one. I'm the only one that's ever born there, and even though I'm mixed, I'm the only one that's ever born there and represent them. But I also represent the Bay Area because of after Contender Show I did this video, and most of my followers are from the Bay Area because I'm really I grew up there. That's all I know, So, and in the video I told everyone I grew up in this place. I grew up with the black people, the white people, the brown people, the Asian, everyone. So I feel like everyone is my people. And if you I just told them how in the Bay Area we fight, we dance, we do it all in the Bay. And if you're from the Bay, you'll feel me in that. And the journalist was like, I am from the Bay, and I do feel you in that. And that's what got me 20,000 followers overnight or something like that, because it's funny. It's not even from the fighting. It's just what I represent. And then a lot of people in the Bay Area, because I was only the real one who... There's another guy, but I'm the only one who's really... But he had a big name in other sports. So I'm the only one who's made it through MMA, went through the, LFA, fought the guy in LA. I really earned that spot from California, the Bay Area. So when I represent, it's just I represent California also and the Bay Area. And
You love that?
Yeah, I fucking love it.
You love it. Yeah, that's so good. I mean, I feel that. I felt that.
Yeah.
You know, at dinner the other night. Outside of the cage, what does success look like for you?
Success is, I would like to use my platform to not only help people, because I already have. I do nonprofits, but really get that message out as well. I told myself I want to be successful and rich and all that myself, because I feel like MMA, what is my passion? Your passion is what you do for yourself. Your purpose is what you do for others. So I want to get to a platform where I can help a lot of people. I feel like I got it because of what I went through. People could adhere with a lot of things I say, but also because of where I come from, I truly am the people's champ, and I really do. That's one thing that's really valuable for me as well, is going out there and just changing the world and helping people out.
Yeah, that purpose piece is so important, right?
Right.
There's so much more than, I mean, we talk about like money. I mean, lots of guys talk about having lots of money, but there's lots of guys that have got heaps of money that are pretty unhappy. But the purpose piece, I think, is like one of the critical pieces to that puzzle.
100%.
That's good. If you could go back and give your younger self a piece of advice before your first pro fight, what would it be?
It would be go 100% on your dream. Go 110% in your dream, and that's what I did, actually. You know what? I wish I just did it sooner. And I just told myself, give myself 3 hard years, because I was working, creating someone else's dream. I'm going so 100% of someone else's dream, and never went 100% of mine. I'm like, I'm going to be broke. I don't give a damn, but at least I can close the door on MMA if it doesnent work out, because I did it all. So I made the necessary sacrifices, and by sacrifice toxicity, everything I could possibly can. Don't get me wrong, because of that, I feel like I was blessed by getting connected with certain people that just fell into my life, and certain things that kind of just like for example, what changed for me is, have you heard of Andre Agassi?
Of course.
So my client, his coach, Andre Agassi's coach, he owns Andre Agassi's coach's house, and he asked me to live in his guest house to train him and his kids, and need security, But Michael Jordan and Andre Agassi both lived in that guest house for 6 months each. When I moved there, I went undefeated and went crazy, got into the Contender. I'm like, that's a magical guest house or something like that. So that's touched by greatness, maybe rubbed off on me. I think it's, I don't know, the vibe. I just think it's a crazy coincidence. I thought I'd share that.
Awesome, man. Who is your dream opponent, past or present?
Ooh, I want Ilia Topuria right now. I want to fight this guy and then maybe another guy. I just feel like my boxing, my boxing, and the fact I'm southpaw, I can fight both stances, and I have the power to keep him back. And no one there actually has they got pretty good boxing. I just think I'm just so well rounded that and athletic enough to keep him at bay.
Okay. Were you a UFC fan before the UFC?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what was it like? Did you meet you've obviously met so many fighters now. So what's it like meeting these fighters who perhaps you looked up to at some point?
It's so weird. I'm like, dude, I'm a fan of you, and like I asked the fans, who do you want me to fight? They're like, Calvin Kattar. I'm like, I love Calvin Kattar. I'll beat him up. I'll give him a hug afterwards. For me, moment I sign money, cold-blooded. I become like a reptile, But once it's all said and done, I have so much, because we have the same dream. How can I we have the same dream. A fight's a fight, so I always have compassion for my opponents. I've also beat my opponents so bad where I begged the ref to stop it, like completely fractured both sides of their face, and their own dad was their corner, and I even pushed their own dad and stuff like, why would you do that? And their own coaches, I beat someone damn near close to that. They're not the same person. They don't even look the same. You know what I'm trying to say? So Yeah, I think that's one also big component that people need to understand about MMA.
That's so that's so. I'm laughing because it's so brutal.
Yeah,
And it's so not my world.
right.
So I actually don't even know how to comment on something like
No,
this.
I know
It's
it's.
I love the I love the aggression.
Yeah, it's just people need to like because it's so what we say primal, but at the same time so much thought and intelligence that goes into it. That's why I feel like an MMA champion, almost everyone, I would say for Sean Strickland, is a real champion in fighting in life. Like almost every one of those guys, I mean, outside their fun stuff, but is a solid dude, like has moral. And so when you meet them in person, it's a way different story. Like there's what they do to have fun. If you caught us all having fun, we look like degenerates, you know, but if it's, well, maybe not all of us, but but yeah, but a lot of these guys are very like just great people, you know, and martial artists and stuff like that.
So you're a brown belt. Is that a brown belt at jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
So how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu for?
I started in 2023.
2023 and you're
Oh
brown.
no, 2013. Sorry, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That was like 2 years. Sorry.
And then okay, so what? I don't know what your walkout. Do you have the same walkout song every time, or have you mixed it up?
I pretty much, for the most part, come out to it's called a song called "Yay Area" by E40, because again, I represent the Bay Area, and I'm actually from where he's from. I'm from the same neighborhood that he's from, so I always choose him.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any pre-fight rituals, or like, are you superstitious?
I you know what? People like one thing. A lot of the commission, they're surprised that I'm fighting because I take a nap and I'm like really relaxed before I fight. Like taking naps, I just get my mind and body as ready as possible by being like very calm. The one thing I like to do is I eat. Here's my one little secret that I'm gonna share with some athletes, but also people should do this in general. A banana has beta blockers to help to control your adrenaline. So because of that, it helps with your anxiety and stress. So when you're like feeling a little anxious, eat a banana. I promise you, it's probably gonna work. It promises it's gonna work. Like it does, at least a little bit.
How long have you known that for?
For a while. Yeah,
That's
I do that, and there's other things you can take and mind things and body where to connect to your body to help you get lower center of gravity. There's little things you can do to hack your mind and body for better performance.
So are you superstitious in any way?
No, but what I will say, there's certain things I just don't say or do because winners focus on winning.
So tell me about that. So what wouldn't you say or do?
I don't talk negative. I don't think about losing. I think about possibilities that may put me in jeopardy. If I were to do that, I'm going to watch out for his strengths and stuff like that. But a lot of people I find is like they let their mind go, and their mind will go to places they shouldn't. And just because of nervousness, anxiety. So you have to learn how to get out of your mind and into your body. What does that mean? You have to have contraptions built. Eating banana, mechanisms of breathing, eating food, get up, walk. The moment you do that, you got to master your mind. What controls your mind? Your breath. That's why I got the Wim Hof coach. That's why cardio is mental. That's why I tell you to breathe. They tell you to do this. When we get a hold of your breath, you get a hold of your mind. The better you get a hold of your mind, the more rational decisions you can make.
So Wim Hof has come into your life recently, post the losses.
The instructor, yeah.
Okay, and that's obviously had a fundamental, positive impact on you. After a fight, do you I assume your diet is super strict leading up to the fight. So
yeah.
what's your cheat meal after a fight?
Oh, after a fight is crazy. I've been 145. Next week, gained 40 pounds. 185.
Wait, so can you explain to the listener that doesn't follow UFC, because I find this whole cutting weight concept.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, wait, how does that work?
And I'm small for my weight. I fought a guy. We weighed in at 145. 1 hour later, he's 20 pounds heavier. The day of the fight, he's 180, 84. And if he fought at 145, he gained 175. He gained 30 pounds overnight. I've only gained like 15 or 20. Some people do IVs, they eat, they have it down, and digestive enzymes, hydration, and some people do that. However, it could make you chinny. It's also bad for your kidneys. So certain people, they're doing health risks metabolically. Me, I've never been outpowered. Like, I've never felt like someone's ever thrown me around, this and that. So I feel like by cutting my weight, it still sucks to cut the weight, but I don't cut as much as the other people do.
Yeah, okay. I hear you. Last question. If you weren't fighting in the UFC, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Probably something with construction management, developing. You know, like when I opened my gym, part of the reason why I wanted to do this is I either want to use my fight money to invest and do that, but also save money on my gym and things and projects, because I can build things. I used to do private construction projects for people, but by doing the construction management, it taught me business ethics, law, things that, and also I took a speech class. That's why UFC, that's why I'm good on the mic for the UFC, because I took the necessary classes. And when I owned a gym, a lot of people go wrong in their business because they haven't taken like business ethics. Like, that's just how to, like, just on that alone, you know. But also I can do the digital model, like the 3D model of my gym down to the measurements and all that, and then build it safe and do cost estimating. So there's a lot of things that it, in turn, I didn't know it was going to help out this much, but it actually tied into the MMA, my possible future. Like, you know, because like I do MMA because I don't want to work for someone, you know. I mean, Dana White, but there's a lot of freedom there. Yeah.
Awesome. So your next fight may be November this year.
Yes, November 7th.
And then just for the audience, your Insta page is?
Hurricane_415.
Amazing. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you doing this. I've got to say, you are one of the most mentally headstrong people that I've ever spoken to. Like, your energy is infectious, and when we talk about feeling, I can feel like you are on a mission. And like I said, I genuinely feel sorry for the next person that you fight in November, because I have no doubt that you are going to be the world champ, because I feel that from you. Like, I wouldn't want to get in your way right now. I don't think anyone should get in your way. So, man, I wish you all the best. I'm sure the audience does as well. Thank you so much, Adrian. And thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing all those insights. Amazing.
Thanks for having me. This has been awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.